Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. And in this series we're going to be going over Neptune in the houses, okay? Neptune in the houses, and in this episode we're going to be talking about the 9th house. So, having Neptune in your 9th house. And before we get into that, you guys know I have to remind you to check out my music, okay? If you enjoyed the little snippet of music in the beginning of this video, that is my new single, Can't Take the Throne. Definitely check it out here on YouTube. All you have to do is type my name, Sam Dolphin, and it'll definitely pop up. You can also check it out on Spotify and Apple Music. Also, follow me on TikTok, okay? My name is Sam_Dolphin, and you can follow me there. And then finally, if you want to book a reading with me, I do astro readings as well as tarot. So you can definitely book a reading with me at my email, which is samastroreadings@gmail.com. That's samastroreadings@gmail.com. And yes, we could definitely go forward with that. So, getting back into Neptune in the 9th house, okay? And the first thing I can say about Neptune in the 9th house is that these people's Neptune 9th house people, their imagination is so expansive, okay? Their creativity is so expansive, okay? And not saying that you will be an artist, because that's not true, okay? There's so many manifestations of Neptune in 9th house, but if you were to get into the arts, this would be such a good placement because your imagination, your creativity is endless, okay? People with Neptune in 9th house, they can come up with so many creative ideas, visuals, okay? This is like such an amazing person with such an extraordinary imagination, okay? So if you were to think of the arts like painting and drawing, the type of visions that can come up in your head is so amazing. If you are a writer, you know, the type of stories that you can tell is so amazing because you have such an expansive imagination, and these people could be big daydreamers and just big dreamers in general. Maybe your dreams are so expansive and incredible, but I can just imagine with people with Neptune 9th house, your imagination, your dreams are just huge. They're big, like people, like the way you guys even dream with Neptune 9th house. You think anything can happen, you know, it's like a fantasy world, a big one, you know, I think of that. And that's how your minds are and how you guys believe and think and feel. So, you know, definitely a very expansive imagination, and these people like to explore it, you know, that's why they can expand on their imagination so much, because where, you know, the normal person can just, you know, think of things and, you know, have their own imagination stop there. These people can get really lost into their imagination. They can get lost and think of so many ideas. You know, I think of like Wizard of Oz. I think of like Alice in Wonderland, how she like steps into like this new world. Like, this is what I think about Neptune in the 9th house. It's like this endless fantasy, this like whimsical, extraordinary world, and they get so lost into their imaginations. That's why it's so big and so expansive, you know? Think of like having a dream and having such a long dream with so many details and so many things happening. This is Neptune in 9th house, you know? So it's exciting in that way, you know? It's so whimsical. It's such a fantasy world. And you don't necessarily, just because you have Neptune in the 9th house, have to be super creative and whimsical or anything like that. But it can be a manifestation, and just your ideas and your creativity is literally endless. So definitely a good placement for that. But speaking about getting lost in your dreams, you know, getting lost into your expansive dreams, this is a big thing with Neptune in the 9th house, you know. So when I talk about Neptune, Neptune is very duality. It's like the most amazing dream or your worst nightmare. And while you can get lost into your dreams and adventure and expand on it, you can literally get lost. And Neptune 9th house people, they might not feel like they have a sense of freedom, okay? Maybe, and this could come in so many ways. Maybe it could be your beliefs that you have, your faiths, you know, maybe what you believed in was tested a lot. People would be like, no, that's not true. Test your faiths a lot. You know, maybe you know, your intuition, your natural intuitions and gut feelings, you know, because Neptune is all about intuition. A lot of people test them. You know, you have this gut feeling about what you believe in and that this is true, and people say, no, that's not true, and gaslight you. You know, this could be a big thing with Neptune in the ninth house. So you could get lost into your freedom. Maybe literally, physically, like going out on an adventure, like you just ran off and you got lost. So it could have been very traumatizing for you. Maybe you were a young child and you would try to escape away and, you know, get lost and lose your parents, and it traumatize you. And, you know, just anytime you're trying to have your freedom, because faith is freedom, what you believe in, what you believe to believe in your own faith, that is your sense of freedom and expansion. People are testing this. You know, people are testing your boundaries here. You know, so definitely be mindful of that, because there is a sense of loss, a lost freedom here. You know, so as magical and as big as their imaginations can be, they can feel lost in them and not have a grasp on them. People testing your faiths, testing what you believe in, testing the things that you are convinced of, that you believe of the world, okay? Because this is the ninth house. This is like your big ideas. So, you know, with Neptune here, there is that sense of loss and that sense of confusion, okay? And even fear. Again, this could be physically going on your own adventure, going on your own trip and getting lost. Be careful with Neptune, ninth house people. When you guys go into long distance trips, you can get lost with this placement. So that's why wherever Neptune is in your houses, you need to be aware. So be extra aware when you're traveling, because again, there's a struggle, a sense of loss with your freedom. Also, with Neptune in the ninth house, there's a huge appetite for escapism. Okay, so like I said, like Neptune ninth house, this is like a fantasy world, big imaginations. You guys are big dreamers. You guys have big imaginations. You guys can literally entertain yourselves with your thoughts and ideas and your visions. You guys have such a big imagination, and you guys have a big appetite for escapism, okay? You guys love a great movie, love entertainment, love to just explore an adventure. And this big appetite for escapism can literally be for drugs and psychedelics, okay? You can abuse, you know, drugs, abuse substance, you know, do substance abuse because you have such a huge appetite for escapism. And psychedelics and drugs is big with Neptune, okay? Neptune rules drugs. A lot of people have a liking for drugs because of Neptune. It's all about the escape. It's all about having an outer body experience, okay? This is why a lot of people take drugs. And when you have in the ninth house, this expansive house, it expands everything. You have a huge appetite for it. Okay, these are people who can drink a lot. They're heavyweight, you know, they're not lightweight. You know, they can drink a lot, and this can lead to, again, substance abuse, okay? So you take a lot, you abuse drugs, you do a lot of them, okay? Because, again, ninth house is expansive. It expands the energy. So you're expanding this appetite of escapism and drugs and psychedelics, you know? So you got to be careful of that, because when it comes to the addictions, you know, you could do a lot of it. You know, it could be a lot. It could be strong addictions because of the amount of how much you do. So definitely be careful of that with Neptune in the ninth house. Also, with Neptune in the ninth house, I like to say that this is intuitive philosophy, okay? And what I mean by that is these are people who have these huge ideas, big ideas, okay? Because you have to think about the ninth house is philosophy, your ideas of the world, what you believe in. This could be your religion, your spirituality, things you believe about this world and what is to be true on a big level. And this is like your higher mind. So with Neptune here, which is very intuitive, okay, you can have a lot of your philosophies and big ideologies through intuition, which could be like a dream, okay, or a gut feeling, okay? So like, say for example, you have like this dream about, you know, dinosaurs, okay? And you have this, you have this dream about these species, these creatures, and then you get, and through the dream you see that this is the first animals that were created because it looks like the beginning of time. And then you keep getting this dream, and then you come up with this philosophy of dinosaurs, and you actually find a fossil and physical evidence of it. This is like Neptune in the ninth house. You know, your philosophies, your ideas come through dreams, come through intuition. You know, you can have an idea about a world and humanity and where it's going based on your intuition, based on gut feeling, okay? You can have philosophies about our world and where we come from based on gut feelings and intuition, or a dream that lets us know where us humans have come from. You know, these are the type of people to get this. Neptune, ninth house people, these are the type of people to get this. You know, they'll tell you their big ideas that they've got them from dreams, you know, and as crazy as it could sound, it's truth that this is intuition. This is Neptune. Neptune's magical. So a lot of, you know, your philosophy it comes through intuition. A lot of your big faiths and beliefs come through intuition, your deep down gut feelings and what you're picking up on, you know, and it can come from even dreams in your subconscious. So it's very, very interesting, you know, Neptune in the ninth house, you know, very, very magical in terms of your intelligence and your higher knowledge coming from intuition, okay? Very psychic, you know. But with this also can come intellectual delusion, I like to say, okay? Now, you can be as gifted as Neptune ninth house people are with, you know, getting these like great ideas and philosophies through dreams, through intuitions, and telling you some of the most amazing discoveries of this world through their dreams. They can also be delusional about them too, because Neptune rules illusions and delusions, okay? And you can believe in these grand ideas and huge ideas that may not be backed up by too much logic, okay? Because ninth house, you know, is ruled by Sagittarius. It's very spirited, you know? It's intellectual, but there's a spirit to this. And then you add Neptune here, which is completely spiritual and emotional. You know, you can lack logic in your bigger ideas and beliefs and faith. And you could be teaching people or believing in things that don't really make sense, okay? So there's like a little bit of delusions when it comes to your intellect. Maybe you're onto something. Maybe you do make sense in the grander sense, okay? But when you break it down to details and logic, you know, you're missing a lot of that, you know, because you're just, you know, thinking intuitively and not realistically and more logically. So be careful with that, because you can also be very gullible when it comes to your intellect. So people can tell you things like, hey, this comes from this, or people are actually this, and you know, you will sit there and believe it and soak it in and soak in these big ideas, and that can make you, you know, very vulnerable to people who try to, you know, scam you with big energy, trying to convince you of things, you know, with that ninth house energy, that big type of energy, and saying, you know, big words. They can be very spirited, but not backed up by a lot of logic. And with that Neptune energy, you're so vulnerable and open, you accept everything. So you can be very gullible intellectually, like believing lots of myths and things that are just, you know, like, I hate using superstition because a lot of times people use it to like gaslight, you know, intuition and magic and magical things, because that is a concept of this world. But sometimes they could just be like, you know, the other opposite end of this magic and intuition is just delusions and illusions. So yes, be careful, because intellectually and philosophically, you could be very delusional with Neptune in the ninth house. I would say Neptune ninth house, it's good to get into fantasy and sci-fi, you know, because with these types of things, you get to go into these broader types of ideas and higher philosophical, you know, subjects, but to still give it the fantasy and not worry so much about it being so logical and realistic, you know. So that's why fantasy is so good for Neptune ninth house people. Also, people with Neptune in the ninth house definitely could be very interested in the subjects of mysticism and astrology and witchcraft and magic and metaphysics and spirituality, you know, these types of subjects, even tarot, you know, things like that, because, you know, Neptune deals with, you know, the spiritual world and the opposite of the physical world, you know. So this deals with spirit and things of like angels and superstition, and then you put into the ninth house of philosophy and your big ideas, very intellectual house. You know, these people are going to be very attracted to subjects of mysticism, of astrology, of, you know, spirituality, you know, those types of subjects, which are very popular now too. But they're going to be attracted and very identified with those subjects, as it is a big part of their energy. Also, with Neptune in the ninth house, okay, these people, I like to say, have a strong compassion and care and connection with all people and different foreign people, you know. People with Neptune in the ninth house, you know, Neptune is a very compassionate energy. This is like emotional, universal care, caring for everything, the humans, the animals, the plants, you know, these people. Neptune makes you very intuitive and feel for other people. So you put this in the ninth house, house of foreign places and travel in different worlds. These people are going to be incredibly compassionate, okay, with other cultures and different races and people and cultures and countries. You know, these are people who are open to different kinds of people and not going to be restricted to their culture and where they're from, you know, and they're going to be extra compassionate, you know. So this is people who care for the world, care for different places in the world at large, because ninth house is about the world at large, you know. So this is a very good placement for having high tolerance for different cultures and connecting with them as well too. You know, you're going to want to connect with different people of different worlds, you know. Again, that Neptune ninth house, incredibly compassionate. You're going to naturally want to connect with people and have an openness, you know, which is very good, because a lot of people can be really restricted to their own culture and their own homes and what they're used to. And with Neptune ninth house people, you have incredible compassion for different people and different cultures and foreign to you and different for you. So you're open to people and that much, and this makes you very cultured in experience with different types of people, and that's a very big thing. So definitely a huge strength with Neptune in ninth house. So yes, okay, that is Neptune in the ninth house. I hope you guys enjoyed that. You know, this is a very, very beautiful placement. Like I said, the creativity here is expansive, okay? The imagination here is huge, you know, but don't get lost in your dreams. Don't get lost in your imaginations, okay? Because you can have a vulnerable position when it comes to your beliefs and your faiths and your intuition, and people doubting that. So you need to be aware of this, okay, so that you can truly have a grasp of your freedom and really explore your imagination without it turning into a nightmare, you know. Very gifted people, very open to different people. Just an amazing placement in my opinion. So that's Neptune ninth house, and I hope you guys enjoyed that. And if you did, book a reading with me. I do astro readings as well as tarot. All you have to do is email me at samastroreadings@gmail.com. That's samastroreadings@gmail.com, and we can go forward with that. Also, check out my music. Check out my music videos. All of those will be in the description box below with all the links, and I'll check you guys out on the next video.